4 helicopters, 2 hours of IDF special forces in Syria running on the ground, collecting all kind of secret materials, 8 Syrian soldiers dead, a lot of airstrikes are happening. All of this happened basically in one night. Let's break it down and explain to you what happened and why does it really matter. Israel have just invaded inside of Syria and have done an in and out special forces operation just outside of Damascus. That's very close. Meanwhile, Al-Shara and the Jawlani were having their own parade walking the streets when all of this happened. They kind of complained that Israel stole the show with their fighter jets. But bottom line, something very big happened. Just a quick reminder, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment. Click the bell. All these things help this channel keep growing. If you want to help support my work, go and check my Patreon. Let's go back to Syria. A Syrian army in a patrol near Kiswa, just a random patrol, have found some kind of surveillance gear. Within hours, Israeli drones and jets hit the area. So how did Israel know about that? Could be quite a lot of interesting possibilities. Maybe that surveillance thing was a beacon where you talk next to they hear you, or maybe they have people deep inside that government. Obviously, the Mossad have a lot of agents all around the world, so they were able to understand that the Syrians are onto something that Israel doesn't want them to expose. Within hours, Israeli drones and jets hit the area, killing several soldiers and blocking access. About 8 soldiers, one of them reported to be a commander from the Syrian regime, which, let's be honest, is mostly ISIS and Al-Qaeda, so it's not a big loss for the world. That night, 4 helicopters inserted Israeli Special Forces operators near Jabal Manna. They worked for around 2 hours with search equipment. I don't know exactly what that means, but they went around looking for the object that was exposed to bring it back to Israel. We're talking about Area 51 style, kind of conspiracy stuff. Something very, very serious was there. So serious that the moment that it was revealed, Israel just went and killed the soldiers around it, create a sterile zone around that area with Air Force airstrikes, drones, and fighter jets. During this time, a whole parade of Al-Shara was happening with the Syrian regime, and they cried that Israel stole the show with their fighter jets. And then Israel went and for 2 hours cleared the area, took whatever they needed back to Israel so it doesn't fall to the hands of the enemy. Now, let me explain to you why this is very important. Countries like Israel or like America have an edge over the competition when it comes to technology. We're in the future and they're way behind usually. If one of your assets fall into the wrong hands, like the hands of Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the Syrian regime, easily can fall to the hands of Hezbollah, Iran, China, Russia, enemies of the West, and you don't want that to happen. So sometimes these things are so important that you'll go the extra mile, even including killing enemy soldiers from that enemy country to make sure that it doesn't fall in the wrong hands. And by that, you're basically having, let's say, 8 Syrian regime terrorists killed, which is not a big loss for the world, instead of maybe countless of lives killed later. Because what happened is if it falls to the wrong hand, they can do reverse engineering on it and understand what is happening, and that will give them some edge over you or maybe take away one of your capabilities. Now, we know that in the past, units like Sayeret Matkal or Shaldag, mostly Sayeret Matkal I would say, were known to go behind enemy line reconnaissance and to reach all the way to Cairo dressed like construction workers in the middle of the night and just replace a whole traffic light with a new one, looks identical. They will just look like a maintenance team, and inside it will be all kind of surveillance devices. Or they'll go and replace a bench in the middle of your city, or they just go and replace a rock in the desert, or sometimes even go and build the building for you. The Mossad and Sayeret Matkal will go and build a building inside an enemy country for the government, and that everything in that building basically is operated by the Mossad. We've seen a great example with Iran, where the Mossad, where they anointed a new Mossad hunting unit, only to find out later on that the unit that was in charge of hunting Mossad agents in Iran was run by the Mossad itself, and that's just a crazy story. So Israel is often working ahead of the game. Israel, I like to look at it that way. America is like Superman with their kryptonite, and the kryptonite is basically woke and communism. Israel is like Batman. They're always ready for whatever is going to happen next. They're always a few steps ahead of the game. So in that case, Israel had something in Syria that gave it an edge that was very strategic and important, and was so important that they did all of this in the middle of the night, including sending a team of 4 helicopters with special forces to go and retrieve it. They worked for around 2 hours with search equipment and left. No firefights reported. This looks like a technical exploitations and a cleanup mission. protect sources and methods, deny reverse engineering, and send a clear message to Iran and the regime and its proxies. Israel can reach deep, fast, and on its own terms. When your enemies realize that there's nowhere they can hide, it's bad for the bad guys, it's good for the good guys. So Israel was sending a message, even though they did not confirm this operation officially. And that's the kind of operation that I doubt that we're ever going to hear a real confirmation of what really took place there. But they still used basically every platform that they can tweet, they tweeted on, and came and said that Israel will do whatever it takes to defend Israel and its allies. Doesn't matter when, where, day and night, we are there, and there's a strong message sent by that. I mean, in general, Israel has been behaving after October 7 in a very different way. They started finally taking the role as a local power and dictating how the rules are going to look in the Middle East, which is a good thing, because when the good guys do that, the bad guys follow suit, which is the same thing with America and the world. You see, the absence of action always creates a vacuum, and whatever goes in there is going to dictate how the world is going to look like. So when it comes to regional powers, if America is not the strongest country in the world, then China would be, or Russia would be, and it's going to be way worse for the Western civilization or the Muslim empire. Same thing with Israel. If Israel is not the strongest force in the Middle East, then the Middle East is going to be a very bad place. Not that it's not already a very bad place, but at least they have a beacon of hope and democracy and freedom for minorities, for religion, for the Jews, for the Druze, for the Christians, for all of them in the Middle East. And by dismantling all these proxies around Israel and all these terrorist organizations, sending them a message, Israel can reach deep, fast, and on its own terms. That is a very powerful message to send to all the enemies of Israel in that region. And in general, when your enemies realize that there's nowhere they can hide, that's very bad for the bad guys, very good for the good guys. So Israel did use that opportunity, even though it was a hush-hush Area 51 kind of top secret operation, to use that momentum to still send a message to everyone in the Middle East. Don't mess with Israel. And if you do, you're going to pay a heavy price. Stay safe. See you next time.